NXT Invasion is over. NXT Bound for Glory is over. But do not worry, they saved the biggest show of them all for tonight. It was WWE NXT. Stick as many women as you can in a battle royal, because pretty much NXT, the development brand, has become a women's only show. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling, here to recap WWE NXT for the 14th of October 2025. Shawn Michaels, in my opinion, has absolutely turned NXT into pretty much just this women's show. This should be like Shimmer and those other women wrestling only shows. And when him and Triple H come out and they say things like the women are 5 times better than the men, and when they say things like for every one decent male wrestler, we've got 5 good female wrestlers. I mean, based on what you see in NXT, you could believe that to be true, but that's because that's what they showcase. If people showcase you something, if people show you something and tell you something, and you don't see anything else to believe otherwise, then potentially you can believe their bullshit. And that's what WWE are doing. They force all these women matches, and it's the same thing with Netflix, same thing with USA on SmackDown and Raw on Netflix. Like, you look at Raw last week, first 3 matches, 3 women's matches. They're basically shoving the women down your throat and telling you that, here, the women are great, and we're gonna keep giving you the women until you believe they're as great as we're telling you that they are. But they're not great. They've never been great. Not that the men are great either. I'm not saying that the men in NXT are fantastic or good, because they're certainly fucking not. But anybody can see that since McMahon left, there has been a massive turnaround in the amount of women that are getting put on TV now. And I know originally McMahon was there when the women's revolution started, and yeah, the women were getting more matches and they were getting the odd main event, but I think it's quite clear to see that towards the final days of McMahon, he'd calmed that down a lot. He'd put the women's revolution on the back burner.
No, totally, but no, you're right. It's like they're telling you one thing and you don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that the showstopper, the cerebral assassin, genuinely believe that women are like 5 times better than the men. But all the evidence is there. They're forcing them down our throat. And see, I mean, look at Shawn Michaels, man. Look at this guy's become, posting TikToks. Even though what he did with the Hardys was cringe, but have you seen him? All he does is post TikTok with the women.
No, I think's crazy. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about the men.
But he did it with the Hardys, because it's the Hardys, like. But
no, I think is crazy. I genuinely believe I could name more women on it from the NXT roster than I could men.
Yep, no, 100%.
And that just shouldn't be allowed. But again, I don't think it's because the women are necessarily great. I just think it's because the women get showcased more, the women get pushed more, the women get more opportunities, they get more promo time, they get more mic time, they get more ring time. You just see the women seem to get these bigger roles, and the men don't seem to get shit. Like, Ricky Saints as the NXT champ feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, and it's not only affecting NXT, it's like it's affecting fucking TNA. Because Trick Williams was the world champion there, and how little did he appear? For like years now, women have been the focal point of NXT. Like they're just plastered everywhere, and there's no getting away from it. And Ricky Saints, man. Also, I don't know if you've seen it. It was on like their socials. You know that thing where like they do like the grip test, so like a feat of strength. Ricky Saints was barely, and I mean barely, above the women. Obafemi's hitting like double him, and he's scraping past like Lola Fice.
And Ricky Saints is beating Obafemi.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
Listen, I'm not saying Obafemi's the next Brock Lesnar or the next fucking, I don't know, the next big thing. I'm not saying he's the next Brock or the next Bobby Lashley or the next guy that's going to terrorize through a roster or whatnot, but I mean, at least Obafemi physically looks like someone that could be a star. He looks like someone that could be a world champion.
He is unique due to his size. He should be utilised. He should not be on NXT any longer.
Why the fuck did he get jobbed out to Ricky Saints?
See, once he loses on NXT, that's it. Again, there seems to be this gimmick where you have to lose before you go to the main roster. I think that's retarded.
Yeah, we've seen it with Braun Breaker. We've seen it with Carmelo Hayes. Now we're seeing it with what's his name, Trick Williams. These people are winning the NXT Championship, and then like they're remaining on NXT for at least another year, 18 months, and they're having to basically job out before getting pushed on Raw or SmackDown. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's
see, in like 2009, did Sheamus fucking lose on ECW and then go take on Cena? No, he went up when he was red hot. Because that's what makes fucking sense.
Yeah, it's like Bobby Lashley, and I get it, wrestling's changed a lot since then, but let's say Bobby Lashley lost the ECW title to, I don't know, Snitsky or something like that, and then he spent like another 6 months on ECW losing rematches to Snitsky and losing to Test and losing to Mark Henry. Then he ends up on Raw. Would anybody believe that Bobby Lashley, after losing for 6 months on ECW, was going to show up on Raw and beat Cena for the WWE Championship at Great American Bash?
It shows you the drive.
Absolutely fucking not.
I think it's a sign of the times, though. Bobby Lashley thought it wasn't good enough, him going up to the main roster and losing to fucking Cena, and he was long gone. Now you've just got like almost like an acceptance of fucking shite today. As long as we're in the company, as long as we're in the door. Anyway, I'm sick of ranting, but you're right, NXT... This current version of NXT makes 2.0 look fucking like the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and you know what? See when it comes... I'm not going to say that NXT do genuinely have 5 good women for every 1 good male wrestler, but when it comes to NXT, I think that claim is easier to be made for the pure fact that the women take up the majority of the time. That it would be hard to disprove it, because you don't really see many male wrestlers on this show.
They feel outnumbered 5-1. So the claim feels almost justified.
Whereas on the main roster, you can just quite clearly see it's bullshit.
You always see it on socials, or like if you watch the show, they always do like backstage segments on NXT, and it always shows you like the women's locker room, and there's just like hundreds of them, but they never do it with the men.
No, they don't. So
I think it's just Triple H and Shawn Michaels, man. They just love rubbing their fucking 60-year-old heads against these women.
Yeah.
McMahon did it to fucking get heat. He probably, but also McMahon didn't fucking spin why he did it. These two pretend they're doing it from like a fucking wrestling. Oh, look, we're showing appreciation for their ability. Why is Triple H, a married man, from no sense of a kayfabe perspective, rubbing his fucking entire face and Stephanie Foucault's entire face? At what point is that acceptable?
It's just weird. You need to have an extremely close relationship with someone to do that, and I refuse to believe that Triple H's got an extremely close relationship with every female on the fucking roster.
And it's not like a WrestleMania 20 thing where like they finally win the big one. It's the WrestleMania mate, and Eddie Guerrero and shit, Benoit, best friends for all those years. What a moment. Sadly, it's been erased, right? Because what Benoit did. But are we seriously led to believe that Triple H feels this strongly about Stephanie Foucault from a professional point of view? No, it's just weird.
Also, I seen this clip for like 2 months ago of Jordan Grace beating up the security, and like these 4 security guys way bigger than her, and she's beating them up with like the shittiest offense you'll ever see. And then it gets down to like the final guy, and he just looks at her, then he runs away, and Booker's like, "Oh, that's the smartest decision that he ever made." No, that's the fucking dumbest decision he ever made. How can 4 guys be getting paid to do security if they're getting beat up by Jordan Grace? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, I know.
It makes... I mean, you can believe Ronda Rousey maybe, judo tossing 1 guy, but Jordan Grace, this fucking 5'2" steroid muncher who looks like a man, sounds like a man, but at the end of the day still about a foot smaller than the average fucking man on this roster. It's just not believable. We are shitty looking offense that she's going to beat up 4 security dudes. And again, like I say, if the security guy... No, but back in the day, man, security guys would be fucking eating spears for Goldberg, and you'd be like, I believe that. Now you're getting guys running away for Jordan Grace. What's happening?
And you know what, though, right? It's also... See, for the women, would it not be better if they got women security guards to make it a bit more believable?
Why don't they? Why do you think they don't?
because I think security is portrayed as this like masculine.
Yeah, but could you not argue could you not argue that's like sexist and that's making women look weak?
Of course you could argue.
Or do you think?
No, but it's insulting your intelligence, man. See the guy you're on about in that spot, guys. This guy, I'm not even taking the piss. He could quite possibly have the biggest arms on the roster. The guy she was pushing against the ropes. And I'm talking about the men. See, back in the day, there was what was the guy called? The security guard. He's called Jim, right? See, when wrestling was good, the security guards didn't look double the size of the wrestlers.
Yeah, that Jim guy looked like he could have starred in Predator.
Yes, we're not. See, security guards, man. I want to think in this day and age, because of how bad the wrestlers are, how small they are, and especially when you're factoring in like women, they should have this physique of Spike Dudley.
But
that's what you should.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I also think the reason I think they have male security just to try and make the women look better when they do beat up the security. Because I think they'll believe that here, if we've got Jordan Grace beating up 4 male security guards, that makes her look stronger than if she's beating up 4 female security guards. Plus, I believe it's like this feminist bullshit thing where they just want the women to look as strong as possible, and women will A, look better by beating up men, and B, women will look better in the security guard sense if they're not getting jobbed out to one woman. Because if 4 women are getting beat up by one, that looks bad on them. But if 4 men are getting beat up by 1 woman, that's all round a win-win for the women.
And then we also had a guy that fucking ran to the back during that segment, which is utterly embarrassing. Again, he was the smallest at the 4 security guards, but he's still a fucking man at the end of the day. He should never be fucking doing
Well,
that.
the way they booked him, it didn't look like he was a man.
He wasn't a man, he was a mouse.
Right, Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, looks like they're going to be competing for the title. Who cares? Opening promo. Don't give a shit about it.
Seriously, when is Trick Williams getting called up? No, at what point is enough enough? Ricky Saints as well. I know he just won the belt. He's fucking old, folks. The guy's like 37.
Yeah,
Don't you look at me with those bug eyes, Edge.
Matt Cardona versus Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs beats Matt Cardona. Again, this Matt Cardona guy's going fucking nowhere. He is going nowhere. He can call himself the indie god and whatnot. Mate, you're jobbing it to Josh Briggs here. Your career's done. You're finished.
See if a tree falls, right, in the woods and no one's around to hear it, did it even fall? That's what he is. Nobody gives a fuck about the indies.
I mean, I've got respect for Ziggler. At least he's refusing to do this shit.
This guy's desperate.
At least he's refusing to job out on NXT.
He probably thinks if he jobs out, he can land the job back. I mean, I could go out to a field man and claim I'm king of the land. If no one's around to fight my claim, I might have a claim.
Now, I think Matt Cardona's done a decent enough job of rebuilding himself outside of WWE, and I think he's made a pretty big name from. I would argue he's done as good for himself as you probably can do in the indie scene, because there's certainly limits. You cannot become a household name, but in terms of him building his name as a wrestler, I think he's done a good job, considering he's mostly done it without being on TV. He's done it without being. Now, yes, he's appeared on TNA, he's appeared in AEW, but he mainly built up his persona, Matt Cardona, the indie god. I think he's done a good job, but for me, he's at the level now where if he's going into the the WWE development, he should be saying, yeah, I'll come and I'll wrestle, but only if I win. Yeah. Or if I'm going to lose to like Obafemi in an NXT championship match. Losing to Josh fucking Briggs?
I know, but we've seen guys leave WWE in the past, and it's like, when have they ever went on the indies and wrestled Shotzi Blackheart, like that kind of caliber? I mean, come on, like what the fuck are we doing there? Call it a day, Matt Cardona, man. Fucking reel it in. You're right, should never go back to job yourself out like this. At least Ziggler's got a fucking backbone. I think he's massively overrated, but at least he stands by his principles.
Right, we got a Fatal Influence promo, JC Jane. Fatal Influence is down to 2 members now, so I don't even know what's happening there.
I think she's injured, is she not?
Yeah, I think she hurt her arm, so fuck knows what's going to happen.
Like Seth Rollins. No, actually, it was her leg, I think. No, I see the amount of leg injuries the women pick up. We see it in football as well. They're just not cut out for it.
Yeah, it looks like Lainey Reed could be the newest member. I think she might be stepping in.
I don't even know who the fuck that is.
So it looks like just one woman out, another woman in, just easily replaced. And I mean that's wrestling these days. I mean, in 2 weeks' time, nobody will know the difference. They'll just think, oh look, Toxic Attract, Fatal Influence have still got 3 members.
Yep.
It's not like back in the day when took a guy out or put a person in and it actually made a difference. Now it's just everyone's the same. Second match, El Hidio del Dr. Fagner Jr. versus Lexis King. And Del Dr. Jr. Fagner wins. Has there ever been a bigger fucking bum than Lexis King? Anytime this guy wrestles, he loses. Every single week. If he's in a match, he loses. I would be intrigued to see what his record is.
Imagine dropping the Pillman name just to fucking lose every week.
I would be intrigued to see what his record is.
It's almost like you knew he'd lose every week. You didn't want to disrespect fucking Big Brian.
Talk shite. I need to check out his record.
WWE.
There's enough shite to last a lifetime, but yeah, Lexis King, folks. I mean, I'm not gonna. I think he had something about him. I think that first vignette he cut was alright, but not the crazy thing is, man. See that first vignette Lexis King cut? I wouldn't even be surprised if that's like 2 years ago. It just shows you how WWE don't treat time as valuable, and we see that in the booking. Honestly, man. See when wrestling was good. See a year of wrestling, it was fucking epic. If you missed a week, you were missing it in a lot. If you missed a year, you missed it in a lifetime. See now, man, you could tune in 2 years later and you've missed fuck all. It's the same with this guy, just on a losing streak. And yeah, can't remember the last time he even won a match. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I watch NXT every week, but how many matches this guy has lost then? Going to guess quite a lot.
Right, well, last week he lost to he lost to Dr. Fagner Jr. and he lost to him again this week. Then in the 23rd of September he lost to Miles Bourne in a lights out match. He defeated Miles Bourne in a blindfold match, but I mean, fuck me, Miles Bourne's deaf. And then you factor in, you take away his sight. How the fuck could he not beat him? So he beat him in a blindfold match, but then he lost to him before that, and he lost to him before that, and he lost to Noam Dar for the WWE Speed title. He lost a Battle Royal. He lost against Ricky Saints. He lost the Heritage Cup match against Noam Dar. He lost the Contender Fatal 4-Way match. He beat Sean Legacy on Evolve in 11 minutes and 36. Who the fuck is Sean Legacy? So, since April 4th, Lexis King has had one match that he's won on TV, and it was a blindfold match against the guy that's deaf. So Lexis King, since April 4th, has won one match on TV, and it was against the guy that can't hear. So therefore, when you put a blindfold on him, he's literally, I mean, what senses can he use? His touch.
And see another thing, man, wrestling. When would McMahon ever want you to disclose a disability? Unless it was like Zach Gowen and he was just simply going to rip the piss out of you. So see with that Miles Bourne guy, right?
Miles Bourne, they had 4 matches in a row. Miles Bourne won 3 of them, and the one that Miles Bourne didn't win was the blindfold one. I mean, they're the mass.
See when someone's gimmick is they're deaf, it's like, how far can you fucking go with that? I just don't understand that, man. I think that sums up how bad wrestling is. McMahon would have been like, right, obviously if this guy speaks, we're going to be able to tell us something off with him, so we'll give him a mouthpiece. But no, Triple H puts him front and center. Oh, the first deaf guy to do this. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? Why does that need to be disclosed to the audience, though? Why can't that just be a simple case of, he'll know it deep down, and his peers among him will know it deep down? That's a good achievement. Like, why do the viewers need to know?
Yeah, so in since April, this guy's got 2 defeats to Dr. Fagner, 3 defeats to Miles Bourne, 2 defeats to Noam Dar, and a bunch of defeats in either multi-man matchups or battle royals, and his only win coming since April 4th, like I said, is a blindfold win against Miles Bourne, who is, deaf. So, yeah. Garbage. I mean, a blindfold match is literally a coin toss at the end of the day. That record's fucking atrocious. This guy's a jobber. What's the point? Right, Blake Monroe defeats Saria. Solruka caused the inadvertent distraction, I guess. Monroe wins. Right winner. Who cares? Ava then informs that the men's speed championship tournament will begin next week.
The Rock came out and said that she she did everything to earn her role and that he did nothing to give her it. Which is just fucking laughable coming through the way. I mean, see, honestly, him crying on the red carpet, the Smashing Machine, because of everything his daughter's achieved. It's actually embarrassing. See if you're successful, right? Especially to the extent of The Rock. I'm not saying you can't show emotion for what your children have achieved, but seeing this extreme circumstance where she isn't even a pebble in the fucking seven seas of this world, man, compared to his success. Why is he crying over it? Especially when he gave it to her on a silver platter. Even if she had like the career of Charlotte, I believe Charlotte, you referenced that previously with Ric Flair, where it's like, well, at least Ric Flair can speak about everything she's done. But with this Ava Raine, she's just a bona fide jobber.
Listen, what?
She's just a bona fide jobber. And
Agreed.
It makes it even worse that The Rock's gave her all these things. Like you're The Rock.
Like, see Charlotte Flair, in my opinion, overrated as fuck. Never liked her. I think she's overrated in the ring. I think she's overrated on the mic. There's no doubt that she only got into the business, and there's no doubt that she got her spot on the roster because she's a Flair. You can call her a Nepo baby, Nepotism, all that shit. I almost died there when you talked about The Rock praising his daughter. Anyway, back to Charlotte Flair. Massively overrated. All that shit.
Massive forehead on Eva Raine.
Only got to where she is, right? Only got through the door because she's Ric Flair's daughter. However, once she got there, you cannot deny that she has achieved a lot. Yes, being Ric Flair's daughter helped get her in there, but once she got in there, she did earn. I think she earned her success. Now, would she have had as much if she wasn't called Charlotte Flair? Absolutely not. But it's not like Charlotte Flair is this woman with absolute no talent and she's just been pushed to the moon because she's Ric Flair's daughter. Being Ric Flair's daughter certainly helped her. It's helped her get her through the door. It's probably helped her win a few more titles than she would have won. But at the end of the day, she's still good. She still earned the career that she's got, even if she did have a little bit of help due to the Flair name. And I think that Ric Flair can be proud of his daughter. And I think that Ric Flair can stand and say that his daughter did it on her own, even though I believe that she had a little bit of help due to her surname. But that's normal. That happens. See, if you have a father that's achieved something great in wrestling, then you're likely going to get an opportunity because of that father. And sometimes it puts more pressure on you to perform. And look at David Flair. That's a guy. David and Charlotte are literally the same. They both got their breaks in wrestling because they are the children, the son, the daughter of Ric Flair. But one of them turned out to be, pretty good.
Worth it.
And the other one turned out to be, quite frankly, nowhere near good enough. So, even though I think Charlotte definitely benefited from having the second name Flair, she still performed and she still had a certain level of talent and ability to get to where she is. Unlike Ava Raine, who will never get anywhere due to her own ability or her own talent, and anything that she does achieve will simply be because The Rock is her father. She's never going to grow out The Rock's shadow. If she had any sort of talent or ability or anything, then we'd have seen it by now. We ain't seen shit. The only thing that we've seen is The Rock's fucking forehead slapped on top of her face, and that's all we're ever going to see.
No one's asking The Rock though to be like cold as a rock, so to speak, and have no emotion, right? I'm not saying he can't be happy for her, even though he's put her there. But to cry on the red carpet, that was simply just for the clicks. Oh, The Rock shows his emotional side ahead of new Rock movie, The Smashing Machine, because obviously that movie was more centred on like the drama and the emotion rather than the action. But if you want to talk about a guy that can be proud of like his child, look at like Cowboy Bob Orton. Randy Orton fucking went above him. If Dusty Rhodes was still alive, he could talk about Cody Rhodes. As much as we think Cody Rhodes is a jobber, he's main event at Manias, he's done this, he's done that. Like, that's people who've fucking, exceeded expectations that their father probably would have fought. Ava Raine has literally done them. She has turned up to a position that The Rock put her in. She's done the bare minimum. I don't think that warrants fucking tears.
Nope.
Like, the only thing worse she could have done was not answer the phone call and just lay in bed or something.
Right, fourth match. Hank and Tank versus Chase University.
Hank Schrader.
I thought Chase University. I thought they were I thought they were disbanded.
No, they got enough funding or something.
Anyway, no contest.
WWE just doesn't know when to end things, man. It's like, see Chase University. It was some great TV. Well, I say great TV. Great TV for wrestling. How bad it is, like a couple of years ago. It was entertaining, seeing it like actually F-bombs being censored. But see now, man, a university can only run so long.
Yeah.
Eventually, people drop out or they graduate, and yeah, this is fucking shit.
Yeah. Dark State then jumped the Hardy Boys backstage. Whoa. Then we get the Women's Battle Royal. The winner will battle Jacy Jane at Halloween Havoc. It's going to be Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan, Saria, Jada Parker, Lash Legend, Lola Fice, Ren Sinclair, Kendall Gray, Callie Armstrong, Victoria Crawford, Shia Brookside, Lee Ying Lee, Mara Sade, Heather by Elegance, Izzy Dame, Tatum Paxley, Casey Lee, Jessie Mackay, Carmen Petrovich, Fia Hale, and Ariana Grace. So a lot of TNA women in there.
It's kind of sad that the Hardy Boys go for retiring the Dudley Boys to getting battered by Dark State backstage, but we'll move on.
And in the end,
Did Shawn Michaels, by the way, in like 2010 fucking appear on ECW and get battered by Yoshitatsu after Taker retired?
I don't know, but why did Lash Legend need to get eliminated by like pretty much everyone who was remaining?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Who fucking cares?
No, but why are they trying to pretend like Lash Legend is like the Khali or Big Show or something in the women's division?
Well, I guess she probably is the tallest, but I get your point.
Yeah, but come on to fuck.
She's no good.
Right, in the end, Izzy Dame and Jordan Grace were eliminated by Tatum Paxley. So Tatum Paxley wins. She's going to get the match against Jacy Jane.
Who cares?
And that's it. That is it. That's your NXT recap, guys. I'd put the belt on Tatum Paxley, but it won't happen. So, yeah.
It is just women, and old men. That's all NXT is. There's no future here.
And it's like, I would say that for the most part, the women on NXT are younger, in their like early or at least mid-20s.
Yep.
Whereas the men in NXT tend to be in their mid to late 30s. So it's like...
Yeah, but I think WWE's got a problem. I mean, we know it's got big problems, but if you look at the main roster, right, the men's division is ancient. We're looking at like a median age of in the 40s. With the women, yeah, there is a few older women, right, that are like approaching 40, but for the most part, they're a lot younger than the men. But at least on NXT, they've got women that are older. Younger, like you said, in like the mid-20 range. The men are fucked. There's not enough men on NXT to replace the aging men on the roster. And also, it's not even an age thing, they're just not fucking good enough.
Yeah, even if the people that are going, the men that are going to be coming up from NXT, once they get to the main roster, we're going to be thinking, oh, they need replaced. They're approaching 40.
Yeah, I can't remember a last year in wrestling. I know it's awful, it's the worst I've ever been, but I can't remember the last time you looked at like a roster and went, fuck, they're old and there's no chance that the next generation coming through are going to be able to replace them. It was like you lived in like the moment. Now you're looking at this and thinking, fuck, it's so bad now, but look who's going to be coming up.
I think it's disgraceful that there's some people that has been on NXT for 4 years, longer than 4 years. NXT is supposed to be developing. Who was on OVW for 4... See if you were on OVW for 4 years, you were never going to make it.
Yep.
See if McMahon was never keeping Brock Lesnar on OVW for 4 years.
Yep.
See if Brock was on OVW for 4 years, that would have meant he wasn't good enough for the main roster. You don't need 4 years.
I know people will point to the Ruthless Aggression era and say, "Well, that's the only reason they get called up." I've seen people use that excuse. Even if the class OVW come through in the year 2000, they still get called up. Now, obviously, there was no brand split, and it would have been a bit more limited, but let's not pretend that if they came through in 2000, we wouldn't have seen them till like 2002. They would have... Those guys were too good not to get called up. And it's a joke to pretend otherwise, but what can I say, man? NXT is done for. And then you look at the guys that have been called up. Look at the fucking state of them. Look at the way Carmelo Hayes has been treated. Look at like Pretty Deadly. I'm not saying they were ever great, but look at them jobbed out. Solo Sikoa for me has to be like a perfect example of a guy that came up for NXT. He was a bit of a mid-carder on NXT, gets flung into the bloodline. They're pushing him as this main offender guy, and then look at the state of him now, feuding with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, shite guys, anyway, that's it. NXT fucking sucks. Till next time. Peace.